Hey, welcome to Authenchrisity. Whether it's your first time here or you've checked out several of my posts, I just want to thank you for being here, for taking the time to click and tune in. I know it's been a while since I've posted, and that's my bad. I'm hoping to post more. But we sort of went through a rough pandemic time here in Hong Kong in the summer, late summer, early fall, where our cases went up and there was a bit of, hysteria going on. And it sort of freaked me out, to be honest. So I became a bit of a homebody. And to be honest, my creative juices got a little zapped. I was focused on the pandemic and didn't really think about much else. But things are improving around here in Hong Kong. Our cases are going down. Life is getting a little bit back to normal. And now I'm ready to get back at it with the vlog. So thanks for being here. When I started this vlog, I called it Authenchrisity because I wanted to be real. I wanted to have a place where you could hear a voice that was being open and honest and transparent. And perhaps that would encourage you that there are some of those people out there, but also maybe it would encourage you to be open about where you're at in your own story. So I wanted to cover a lot of different topics with my vlog. One thing I wanted to do was to do some travel vlogging stuff. What it's like to live in Hong Kong, what it's like to live overseas as a foreigner, and just sort of show you around our city and the cool stuff we get up to. We've done a decent amount of that so far in my posts, but I also wanted this to be a place where I could share my own personal story, my own journey, what's going on in my heart, in my mind, in my life. And I want to do more of that going forward. I also wanted this to be a place where I could talk about cultural issues, what's going on in our world, maybe tech, I'm into tech, maybe sports, maybe politics, hopefully not. But the things that are just going on in the world around us. I have opinions and maybe I want to get them out there. Also, I wanted this to be a place where I could talk about faith topics, my own faith journey, but also questions I might have about the Bible and church and theology and the cross-section of all those things with culture. So hopefully we'll get around to some more of those posts as well. I'm really excited for that. I want to try and introduce a segment called 7-Minute Sermons, where I just cover something really quickly and sort of leave you with some faith tidbits to chew on. So look forward to that coming up. So today's post. Let's go back a couple months ago. I don't know about you, but I noticed a trend on social media where some friends of mine were doing push-ups, I think 25 push-ups a day, to bring awareness to mental health struggles. Now, normally when these trends pop up on social media, I look at them, I consider the issue for a few minutes, and then I move on. I think there's always something popping up, so it's hard to sort of zone in and take it super seriously because you got to move on to the next one. But there was something about the mental health struggles and the awareness of mental health that resonated with me. Nevada and I, my wife and I, have been talking a lot about my mental state. Where am I at? And the truth is, it's been a struggle. The last couple years has been really tough for me. And it's shown in what I've become or the state I'm in these days. As many of you will know, we came to Hong Kong so that I could take a job at a church here. I was excited coming out of my master's degree in theology at Regent College and doing several years of pastoral work in Taiwan at the Pearl. I was excited to combine those experiences and that education and bring it to a new church and get after it. To do the exciting things I'd been dreaming about and to, infuse the church with some new ideas and some hopeful new positive direction. Unfortunately, the church I was at wasn't really interested in maybe what I brought to the table. We had some differing opinions about mission and vision, and it led me to the realization that I needed to resign. And that's where sort of the struggles started for me. I have always maybe struggled a little bit with minor moments of depression, anxiety, but the last couple of years it's really kicked in since my resignation. I found myself at home spending a lot of time thinking about how I've got to where I'm at, thinking about my joblessness, my unemployment, why there's no place for me to use my skills, in some ways why nobody wants me. And every day, maybe I start with some good energy, but it sort of spirals down. And this has been a pattern for the last year and a half. And it's been weighing on my heart. I've definitely been feeling hopelessness, purposeless, and a lot of loneliness. This is hard for me because it's not the normal me. Many of you who have known me throughout stages of my life probably know me as being outgoing, social, hopeful, excited. And that hasn't been the case. I recently read a quote describing depression, what it looks like. And it's just from the preface section of a book I've started to read, so I can't tell you much about the book. But I thought this description of what depression looks like nailed me to a T. So it's from a book, Depression, Anxiety, and the Christian Life, Practical Wisdom from Richard Baxter. And I want to read it to you just to explain maybe what I feel like, what life looks like for me right now. So it says this: what happens in depression? Still generalizing, we say, fretful heaviness seizes the mind, sometimes slowing it down to a point of virtual paralysis where thought ceases, sometimes driving it into unfruitful randomness, or a fixed attitude of gloom, or an incessant harping on things felt to be incurably wrong. Depressed persons feel themselves isolated and distant from others, even their nearest and dearest, and from projects in which hitherto their hearts had been fully engaged. Conduct may become eccentric, randomness or inaction may set in, focused creativity may fade away, or sadness may become habitual. Feelings of anxiety, worthlessness, and hopelessness develop, and defensive pessimism takes over. Upset by others' cheerfulness, the depressed may seem cross-grained and combative. Some depressions are cyclical, low points in bipolar mood swings, where they may be followed by bursts of energetic confidence. So this describes a lot of me to a T. Distant from others, not as passionate about projects I used to be passionate about. Feelings of worthlessness, hopelessness, pessimism, which leads to combativeness. This is how I've been feeling in the last couple of years. So with that in mind, let's go back to the Facebook posts, the mental health awareness posts. In the post that particularly stood out for me, it was by a local pastor here in Hong Kong. And he mentioned that those of us that are feeling these things, those of us that are feeling depressed and hopeless and et cetera, struggling with mental health issues, that it's okay to reach out for help. And that it's encouraged to reach out for help. So with that in mind, I sent a message to this friend of mine and I said, who should I look for? Who should I reach out to? And he gave me a list of local counselors and clinical psychologists that he recommended. So the news of today's post, I guess, is that I did reach out. I did make an appointment. I'm 2 sessions into meeting with a counselor. Now, we haven't got too deep, we haven't gone too far, but I've taken the first step. I've reached out for help. I've realized I can't win on my own in this case. I've spent too much time sitting around in this spiral of hopelessness. And I want to get out. I want to get back to being the normal me. So part of the upcoming trajectory, oh my goodness, part of the upcoming trajectory of this vlog is that I want to bring you along in this journey. I want to share what's going on in my story, but in hopes that those of you that are facing similar stories have a chance to find healing like I'm trying to find healing. I want to bring you along physically. I'm going to take the camera with me, maybe to an appointment or two with my counselor, introduce you to her, talk about what's going on. But I also want to do some regular updates where I tell you, what is it we're talking about in counseling? What's being unearthed and what's changing? Maybe what are some of the wins, and maybe what are some of the struggles or the roadblocks that are in the way. I want to bring you along in that journey. So, if any of you are struggling with the same issues, or any issues related to your mental health, where you're just not the same as you used to be, or you're a little more down, or you're a little hopeless, that's okay. It happens to the best of us. Not to say I'm the best of anything, but it happens to many of us. And I want to encourage you to reach out for help. Maybe you want to reach out to me, leave a comment, send an email to authenchrisity@gmail.com. I'd love to walk with you through your experience and talk with you about where you're at. Learn from your story, and maybe you can learn from mine. So in the next couple of posts regarding mental health struggles, like I said, we're going to start to talk about what it is I'm talking through with my counselor. Also, another angle I want to look at that we didn't get into yet today is the issue of being Christian and struggling with mental health. There's some expectations and some pressures that maybe keep us away from admitting to mental health struggles. As Christian leaders, we're expected maybe to be superheroes, etc. And I want to look at the Christian perspective on mental health issues. So anyways, that's in the next couple of posts. But thanks for tuning into this one. I hope that it was good for you as it is for me to sort of get it out there and begin the discussion about getting help for mental health struggles. I hope you'll continue on this journey with me. So as always, keep it real. Peace out.